Live. So, hello, ladies, and welcome to our episode of Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. We are getting ready to go live here with Stacey Golden-Lisnock and Allison Lewis, but we're just going to call her absolutely Allie. Everything Allie
I like
today.
it.
All right, ladies, here we go. Let's go ahead and get started, and we'll get rolling on this episode. Here we go. Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. My name is Colleen Biggs. For a minute there, I totally forgot who I was and just totally spaced out. That never happens. But my name is Colleen Biggs. You know me. I'm your host. We're on episode 102, and I'm really excited today we are recording this on St. Patty's Day. I know that by the time you listen to this, it won't be St. Patty's Day. And I love that Allie wore green. I think I even remember the last time I saw Allie, I was like, just wear something green. And then I got on video this morning and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not even in green today. But I have green in my background. So I guess that counts because our colors for Lead Up for Women are definitely green, gold, and purple, which have a lot of purpose, power, and for us, and that's why we use those colors. So I'm excited today because we're not going to be talking about luck, although we could be talking about how we cultivate our own luck. We're talking about the age of influence. We are in an age today, in a world where there's a lot of immediate gratification, and there is so much that can be done on how our services and our businesses impact and influence others. And we need to be very aware of that. So we're going to be talking a lot about how others are impacted by the influence that we have on them. And so I wanted to start out by welcoming my co-host, which is one of our VIP members. We invite our VIP members of Lead Up for Women to be co-hosts on our podcast, for them to bring forth their genius, talk about something that they have going on in their world, whether it be a book or an event or a launch or a challenge or whatever they may have. We ask them to come forward and bring that to you, because if learning is beneath you, then leadership is beyond you. We all know that. So we're always needing to be learning and keep ourselves educated. So Stacey Golden-Lisnock, welcome to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up today.
Thank you, Colleen. So great to be here. So excited.
Yeah, so tell me, Stacey, you've done our Teaching Tuesdays, so you've done the workshops before. You bring so much forth. So let's talk about what you do and what you have to offer for all of our listeners today, because we not only have female listeners, we also have male listeners.
Excellent. Yes, excellent. So I have a company that I created because I got ill in 2018. And so I was a financial advisor. And then now I'm a financial advocate. So all about learning. It's all about just keep on learning. And the thing about what I'm doing now is people don't know anything about estate planning and legacy planning and making sure that your family doesn't end up in chaos and all of the things that happen when you don't do anything in advance of maybe a health issue, which is like what I had, or an accident, which can happen to anybody at any time. And then, of course, if you pass away or when you pass away, if you've done nothing to protect your family, then it just impacts their lives tremendously.
Mm-hmm. No one wants to leave that burden on their children. In fact, I told Stacy, one of our daughters, we've done all the paperwork and we didn't start itemizing things. And I asked my husband one day, because he's a big drummer, and I said, "What are you going to do with your drum sets? Where do you want them to go?" And he goes, "Well, I'm just going to let the kids work that out." And one of the daughters reached up and she said, "Please do not put that burden upon us, because you know what's going to happen. There's always going to be one child that's going to step forward, that's going to say everything should go to me, and then I should be the one that decides, and then they have to fight amongst each others, and they don't want that stress. So they've asked, hey, can you do us a favor and just itemize everything out? That way we just know where you want things to go." And so I think we need to heed that warning if our own children are standing up and saying, please don't put that burden on me.
Yeah, she's wise beyond her years, that's for sure, because most people don't see it coming. It's just a train wreck that just decimates families. It's so disheartening to see when siblings don't speak with each other like ever again. Cousins don't get to know each other, and just the families just are just separated for generation. They just don't know their heritage at all after that.
So what can we do, Stacey, for all the listeners out there? What can we do to just get it together, like you say? get it together. What can we do? What's the next step?
So yeah, I've put together an online course. And so in order to kind of drive people to understand what I've got going on, I'm doing a challenge starting in April. So if people are interested to get involved in the challenge, that would be a lot of fun because this isn't the most fun conversation to have. So we're trying to put a little fun into it. So this challenge is coming up in the end of April. You can get a hold of me at gotittogethernow.com. And there is a contact us link. Also, I'll put my phone number in the show notes because I like people to reach out and get a hold of me personally. But yeah, I'm really just, I've got my course. It's been through beta. People love it. It's just one of those things that you just never think about unless somebody sort of explains it to you and draws a picture, because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, and I really believe it's the responsibility of us to do this, whether we're single, whether we're married, whether we are parents or not parents. It really is the responsibility of us to not expect to burden others when we're not here, when decisions need to be made for all of the assets that we have. So it's just part of putting your big girl pants on or your big boy pants on and growing up and not waiting until the last minute, because again, I'm watching as those in my life are growing older. And I ask the questions all the time, like, is all the paperwork together? Do we have everything together that we need to know? Because it's hard enough when you lose someone and you're going through the grieving process for that. It's even harder when then there's challenges within the family. Everyone needs to be bonding together at that time and supporting each other. And whether we like it or not, we're all going to die. Yeah. We're all going to die. And so we're not promised tomorrow, and we never know when that's going to happen. So be prepared for that time for your family. My husband and I are even looking at purchasing coffins. We're looking at purchasing plots right now and what that would look like, because we don't want our children to be burdened with having to make that choice. And I don't want someone else having to pick out my coffin. Like, I want to pick it out so I know what I'm going to be buried in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're way beyond the curve, that's for sure. So I appreciate it.
I'm young.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we just basically say, people, they can focus on people, not paperwork, when that very trying time hits your household. And it doesn't always have to be death. I mean, there's a lot of dementia going on where people are just, they can't help you any longer with their own affairs. You need to do everything for them. That's tough when they can't help you. So
yeah, I agree, Stacey. So anyone that has not already gotten your will, your estate, and all of that put together, there is no perfect time. The time is now. You have to get it together. You are never promised tomorrow. So I want to encourage all of you that are listening today, if you've not done that, at least reach out to Stacey, get on her, all of her information's right here at your fingertips. Go out and find her, connect with her, schedule a call with her, look at what she has available, maybe even enter in her course in April if that's something that is something you want to be involved in. But I have to say, it's our responsibility. We all must do it. So it's just, when are you going to do it? And if you don't ever get around to it, then your family's going to suffer. No one wants their family to suffer. So Stacey, thank you for being with us today and bringing this forward, because this is a tool that we all need in our toolbox for sure. Yeah. All right. So I didn't talk about it, but, most of you know this because I talk about it really every week. What we were just talking about was the workshop and the Teaching Tuesday that Stacey did. We do these every Tuesday. So every single Tuesday, we have a different workshop that one of our members teaches. And last week, it was about life insurance. The week before that, it was about Instagram and how to set up, 3 tips on Instagram of how to set up to attract and engage more with those that are your followers, because we know some, followers are kind of like vanity, but if they're not engaging with you, then it really doesn't matter, right? So Allie's going to be talking a lot about that when we move into the next interview. But every week we have these. So there's a link right here for our events. Go check them out. They're free. So it's a great way for you to learn, meet people in our community, but really just continue building that arsenal of tools in your toolbox, because we need those. The more we learn, the smarter we are, the more educated we are, and the more we can share those resources with other people. That's what I love about it. So we can continue to pay those forward and pass them on. So Allie, should I call you absolutely Allie, everything Allie, the incredible Allison Lewis. Like, you are amazing. So I want to tell everyone a little bit about you before you start speaking. But she has irons in all the fires. Let me just say that right now. She's a creative entrepreneur. So are you currently working for the University of Kentucky? You've been there
I
for
am.
14 years. Okay.
Yes.
She's a family and consumer science extension agent. I know you guys are like, what the heck is that? So she's going to tell us what that is in a minute. But she's completing her master's degree in social work. We all know what that is, from the University of Louisville, and served as the education platforms for advocacy and business sense. So she's an influencer. She creates content online. And really, it's all about life and style blog. And I know that Allie is really wanting to be shifting and doing that full time because she loves what it is that she does online, and we're all here to support her. So please help me give a warm welcome to Allison Lewis today.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here. So, Colleen, thank you for having me.
It's
I
a
know you
pleasure.
were just on my podcast, which is not out yet. Will be out soon, and we've chatted. But I love helping people with their social media and their influence.
Yeah. So let's talk about influence. So way back in the day, right? This wasn't a thing that you did. You didn't have a blog. You weren't, creating influence online on
Mhm.
Instagram because it didn't exist then. But would you call yourself, have you always been an influencer? Because if you get into social work, I would imagine you're wanting to influence others in social work.
So, I may have not changed it. So, I got my master's in social work in 2009. So, I've already been there, done that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've been at UK for 15 years as a family consumer science extension agent. And that basically, the textbook response to what that is I teach research based education to the community I work in. So, I teach life skills like nutrition, child development to my community. And the research comes from the UK. And then I got my master's in social work that helped with that. But after I got my master's in social work, this thing of blogging and influencing started to, I guess, pop. And a lot of people were like, what is that? And the same thing kind of happened for me. So I started following bloggers and influencers. And I never really even had the thought that I could do that. Like I probably followed them for a year or two. And then one day it was just like, I can do that. And I did. And I started Absolutely Allie, and it's taken me on many, many journeys thus far. So I've been doing the blog and social media influencing for 6 years now.
And why do you do it? Like, what is it about it that just lights you up? What is your purpose for having this blog and all of the information that you're putting out there into the world for others to partake in?
Right. So in the very beginning, it was more like, oh, this is just fun. Just an outlet for my creativity. But as it grew and I started to learn more from it, I took what I learned and started teaching other people. So I have another business called Absolutely Social, and that's where I teach people how to use social media as well as grow their following, get engagement, make their brand visible on social media. And basically, the biggest thing is help them monetize their social media right now, because a lot of people don't think that they can do it right now, or they don't know the tools. So my real mission is basically to help women use social media to build their brand, whether you have a boutique, you have a dentist office, whether you're an influencer or whatever, but convert some of your followings to clients and basically make money off of it. So that is my whole goal with the influencing and the Absolutely Social business.
So I must ask you, you probably already know, what is the biggest mistake that people make on social media? What would you say, like, the number one mess up is?
Buying followers, buying followers that are not really followers, that are bots. So it serves you no purpose. And
Yeah.
especially if you're an influencer, it serves no purpose to the brands that you're working with, because these people are not really engaging with your following, and they're not going to be customers for you or for the brands that you're working with. So buying followers, which is not really followers, which are really bots, is the worst thing you can do.
Okay. And then what would you say would be the next worst thing you can do?
Um, Not engaging and not being consistent on your social media. You have a social media as a platform to be visible to the world. That the best thing about social media is that somebody in Australia or somebody in, Canada or wherever can see your stuff and be interested in it and, want to talk to you about business. Whereas when we didn't have social media, it was harder to engage with people that were across the country, even across the world. I mean, and you can talk to them. I know there's ads you can do like on TV and there was newspaper magazines, but unless you were a huge brand, people didn't know who you were. Now you can be a small brand but have huge engagement and huge following.
Absolutely. And I love the word consistency because this is important in any business. And we do talk about this a lot. You have to be consistent with your message, right? When you're
Hmm.
networking, when you're talking with clients, wherever you're showing up. And Instagram or YouTube or blogs, wherever you're showing up, you have to be consistent with your message. You have to have clarity in what you stand for and who you are, right? Because
Hmm.
if you're confusing to everyone and they're like, wait, does she help women with business? Well, wait, wait, does she cook food now? Like, what is it that, right? So you need to be very consistent with your message. What is it that you do? I'm very clear on my message. It's about creating visibility for women because that is the hardest thing for us to get. And unless you're seen or heard, there is no way you can expand your influence and build your business. It just can't happen. That's like the
Totally
most
agree.
clear I could possibly be. So I think that's important, Allie, when you say
Hmm.
that, because if it's not about just being consistent and posting 3 days a week or every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or once a day, what are you posting? What are you consistent with? I post things about my family or do a word of the day, and they'll see, but I want people to realize that there's such a thing as building a business and building wealth for yourself and building the having the time to put into your business, but also being on the journey with your family and your kids. And that's a
Right.
big part of my life. And I don't ever see my life separated. My life is my life.
Hmm. Right.
I'm building up my granddaughters just as much as I'm building up a female client that's paying me that I'm speaking to. You know what I mean? So I offer all of those on my social media. Would you say that's the wrong thing to do, or what do you think about that?
No, I definitely think that is a great thing to do. People now, especially since we have social media and even reality TV, they want to see an inside of, what you do, not just, the perfect business things that you put out there. They also want to see the backside, insights into your life. But also people want to know that you're not perfect. I'm not saying that they want to see bad stuff happen to you, but they want you to be a little bit vulnerable. I think it makes you human, it makes your brand human, and it makes people gravitate towards you because if they're having the same issue, then they're more likely to follow you. They're more likely to, use the things that you recommend, are more likely to buy your product. I think with consistency, it's not only just your social media, it's also your lifestyle, your brand. So if you're out in public, you're still your brand, so you need to be consistent with that too. So I always tell people to be aware. It's not, I mean, I know people put many things on social media, but you're also in public too, and people with phones and cameras and everything. So be consistent across the board of how you project yourself.
I love what you said because we have to do what we say, right?
Hmm.
We have to be the part.
Hmm.
And that's the one thing that I have found that is the easiest for me is just showing up as Colleen in everything I do. If you're a family member, if you're a friend, if I'm out, at dinner, if I'm showing up on social media, if I'm doing a video, if I'm speaking on a stage, whatever it is, the most freeing thing you can do is just show up as you. Because I'm just going to just squash this for everyone, but everyone else is taken. So I don't know who you're
Right.
trying to act like. And it's so
Exactly.
hard to wear like a mask of different people that you want to be. And remember, people just want you. They don't
Hmm.
need the perfect you. And Allie just said that. They just want the version of you that you're trying to always be the best of who we're becoming, right? So
Right.
maybe who I was 2 years ago isn't exactly who I am today because I've
Mhm.
learned and I've grown and I've expanded and I've become the better version of Colleen, but I'm still Colleen.
Right. right?
Right.
And it's so, because we've all seen those people that are different with different people. It's great to, meet people where they are, but still be you in everything that you do.
Hmm. That's probably like the best tip. Just be consistent and be
Hmm.
you. And, my whole tagline is be you, be strong. I have businesses built around that. And it's something that started way back in my corporate days when my CEO asked about, two words that really explained who we were. And the one thing consistently people would say is you know exactly what you get when you know Colleen, right? You just know what
Yeah,
you get. And I think there's something powerful to that
right,
I can't explain it any other way, that when I tried to always be something for everyone else, it was so exhausting and it takes
right.
a toll on your body. So if this is the age of influence, how are you influencing those people that you're reaching, right? And Allie, why do you do it? Why are you doing it?
Well, I'm doing it because I want to help other women. I want to help other women in business, or ones that want a business, but they're scared to kind of jump in. I want them to know that I am here to help. Social media could be a way that you can get to where you want to go. So I've learned so many things in my 6 or 7 years being an influencer that I turned it into a course. I've turned it into a book because I want to help entrepreneurs, one, be authentic. I want them to be consistent. I want them to know their brand and their message. And I want them to be able to put that out there through social media to help them build their brand and their business. So I'm not doing it for me. I'm actually doing it for them because I've seen the struggles that people have, not just women. I work a lot with women, but I've seen the struggles that people have trying to do everything for their business. So if you can have some help with that in certain platforms, whether it's social media or wherever, then it's just a benefit to you. And then you can also pay it forward.
Yeah. And if you're a business owner, we talk about it all the time, visibility, exposure, it is exactly how you grow your business. So this is one of
Hmm.
those pieces. This is one of those pieces and should be one of the things that you're focusing on to get more exposure. And I didn't mention it earlier, but the company that Allie owns, Absolutely Social, she provides digital courses, live events, private consultations, coaching, and social media management. So the book that you developed in the masterclass is called The Business of Blogging and Social Media Influencing. So,
Right.
where can we find all this, Allie?
So my website is absolutelyally.com because my blog is Absolutely Allie. You can find it there. You can also find it on all platforms under absolutely underscore Allie, ALLI, or Absolutely Social. So I have both of those. So Absolutely Social is the business. Absolutely Allie is the fun. It's a business too, but that's like the fun stuff where I'm doing the blogging and everything. And the book and the course, The Business of Blogging and Social Media Influencing, is not just for people that want to be bloggers and influencing. Everyone is an influencer. I don't know if people know that. You are influencing people every single day, regardless if it's the car you drive and the shoes you wear. You are an influencer for yourself or for another brand. So, for your specific business or brand, you take the same techniques that you would being a blogger or an influencer to use those to build your social media and to build up your brand. So I teach people in this course and this in the book how to use the different apps, how to engage, all the back end stuff. Because a lot of people, there's a lot of stuff to social media that people don't even know that I've learned. And so I take all of this that I've learned and I put it out there to help business people. I also have a course, like a just a master class coming up, a 1 month social media content calendar. So it's just like a 2 hour event. It's April the 7th, and I'm taking you from point A to point B, how to get content and make a social media content calendar for 1 month. And so you already have you get your hashtags, we talk about your pictures, your graphics, the copy that you're going to write, and where you're going to put these, when you're going to put these. So I'm doing that class just to get people kind of acclimated that you have to be consistent and plan ahead.
Yeah, I love that. And April 7th is my birthday. I will
Well,
be 49 this year and I will be 50 next year. So next year's a big year. I'm really
oh,
excited about it.
yes. Hopefully next year you can do something big. It's probably good that it's not this year because of everything that's going on, but yeah, next year will
Yeah,
probably be perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. I've met some new friends lately, doing some podcasts with them. Susan Sly, I was just on her podcast not too long ago, and she interviewed Jesse Itzler. For those of you that don't know, Jesse Itzler, he's one of my favorite gentlemen. I just absolutely adore him. He's married to Blakely, right? We all know. Wait, it's not Susan. It's not. Why can't I remember her first name all of a sudden? Sarah Blakely. She's the owner of Spanx. What was I thinking right there? I just blacked out.
Okay.
Sarah Blakely, the owner of Spanx, her husband is Jesse Itzler. And so he's all about being active and just doing these crazy, wild things. And he said he wanted to learn 50 new things because he was turning 50. So she said, I want to have 50 new experiences because I'm turning 50. She said, what are you doing? I was like, I don't know, but now I have to create 50 of something.
I love it.
Until I turn 50. So that's what I'm going to be doing and releasing and figuring out what those 50 things are. And I'll take everyone on a journey with me as I count. But it can't be like 50 new things. I just don't even know if I could learn 50 new things. Maybe I could. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what that brings. But let's get back to Allie really quick. And Allie, we have all of your links here. In fact, I believe you provided me with a lot of those the last time you and I spoke. So I have a lot of those. They'll be at the fingertips here for every single person that's listening to this. And I'm just going to reach through right now for one moment and say, I'm going to repeat what Allie had mentioned, which is no matter what it is that you do, you are an influencer. And whether you believe it or not, people watch you more than they listen to you, including your children, which you are the biggest influencer on your family out of anybody. And I could go on and on and on in my world and the things that have changed and things that have happened and how I've seen my children's lives change by my example or by my husband's example. So people are watching you more than they're listening to you, and you are an influencer, whether you believe it or not. If you want to add this special ingredient of how to monetize what you're already doing and how to be more consistent on social media, I can't stress enough. This is a resource you should not really be trying to figure out on your own. This is why we all exist, ladies and gentlemen out there. We are a service opportunity for everyone. Stacey is a service opportunity to help you get your documents together, to help you get organized for your family. Allie is a resource for you to tap into. This is not about reinventing the wheel. Successful entrepreneurs do not reinvent the wheel. They tap into the resources of those that they know to learn how to do the things that they need to be doing. They don't try and figure it out all on their own. We know entrepreneurship is hard, but when you collaborate in your community, it's much easier. So I can't stress enough that we want to reach out to Allie, especially, I'm looking at that going, okay, well, this could be a really great birthday gift for myself to learn how to do a content calendar. It's important. We have to be consistent. And once you figure out how to do that, and I go back to my time blocking, put it on your calendar, time block the things that you need to be doing to get your content out to show up in a video, and then you can sprinkle in all the fun stuff that you do with your kids and do some live videos and stories and reels and whatever else that you're doing out there. These are the fun times you get to bring, and people want to see who you are, and they just want you, right? They just want you. So, Allie, thank you so much for being with us today. Stacey, thank you so much for being with us today. You're both just geniuses in your lane. Notice how everyone has a lane. I'm talking to you, listeners. Everyone has a lane, and they just stay in their lane. Stay in your lane. What is your lane? And if your lane is helping people get visibility like mine is, everything I pump out is about getting visibility. Everything I pump out is about how you can create visibility for yourself to grow your business. So get in your lane, and that's what you talk about. Show up as the imperfect you, because that's what people want, right? And so I want to close real quick by sharing with you that, remember, you're the only you that has ever been. You are the only you. You are the only you that will ever be. So how you pioneer your future is up to you. Nobody is coming. No one's coming. You have to lead your life with your own permission. So today, the three of us give you permission to be absolutely you. Just show up as you. Be the person that shines the brightest, and don't try to be anyone else. Just be you. So thank you for joining us today, listeners. We hope you join us for next week for episode 103. We're going to be interviewing Kimberly Crow with Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel. She is just badass in the event sector. She's amazing. And I'm also bringing on a special co-host. His name is Victor Briere. And he's a doctor, and he's going to be talking to a lot about how we heal ourselves, more with the Eastern medicine than Western medicine. So helping us heal ourselves, our bodies naturally. So I hope you join us for that. Again, more learning tips for us on how to grow our businesses and how to stay healthy. So thank you for joining us this week, and we'll see you next week. Until then, be you and be strong.
Bye-bye.
All right, Facebook, we'll see ya. Bye.